For more than 2 centuries, Earth had been silent. No messages, no signals, no spaceships, nothing. The galaxy, once curious about the humans, slowly forgot them. They were seen as a strange species, brave but wild, smart but dangerous. Some alien historians wrote about Earth as a lost world. Others believed humans had destroyed themselves. The truth was, no one knew what really happened. After the year 2275, Earth just stopped talking. In the years that followed, the galaxy moved on. The Galactic Union, made up of over 70 alien races, continued to grow and trade. Peace was strong, mostly because the one species that caused trouble, the humans, were gone. Some alien leaders quietly felt relief. There had always been something unpredictable about humans. They were emotional, creative, and sometimes violent. But they were also clever and bold, which made them both admired and feared. Many young aliens didn't even know much about humans. They only heard stories. Earth was a blue planet, full of water and green land, home to a species that once spread across the stars. These humans had colonized moons, built powerful ships, and created AI smarter than most alien scientists. But then, after a final deep space signal, a message no one could understand, they'd vanished. No contact, no war, just silence. Then something changed. On the edge of the galaxy, in a quiet research station called Virelin 6, a communication officer named Luro received a signal. It was short, only 3 seconds long, but it was clearly from Earth. The signal carried a strange tone. Not a language, not data, just a pulse. 1-2, pause, 1-2. Like a heartbeat. Luro was confused at first. He ran the signal through translation programs, but nothing made sense. When he traced the origin, the results shocked him. Earth, old Earth, the silent planet. Within hours, the news spread across the Galactic Union. Earth had spoken. After 250 years, the ghost planet was alive. Some believed it was a mistake. Others thought it might be an old satellite. But deep down, every species knew something had changed. And when Earth speaks, the galaxy listens. The Council of Galactic Safety called an emergency meeting. The Velari, the council leader, said what many were thinking. We don't know what this signal means, but we all remember who the humans were. If they are back, we must be ready. Some members of the council argued against fear. They said it could be a simple glitch. But then more signals came, not just from Earth, but from the old human colonies, thought to be dead. Every few hours, a new signal. All different, all strange, but all with the same signature, human design. Soon, long-range scanners detected something else. Movement. A large object was traveling through deep space, heading toward the center of the galaxy. It was massive, the size of a small moon. The scanners couldn't identify it, but its engine trail was unmistakable. Human technology. Panic started to spread. Some worlds increased their defenses. Others tried to send peace messages, but no reply came. Earth was still silent, but it was no longer dead. In a quiet chamber aboard a hidden human station, deep beneath the surface of Mars, a figure watched the galaxy's reaction. His name was Admiral Rourke. He was old, with gray hair and eyes that had seen too much war. Beside him stood a tall machine, a humanoid AI with glowing blue eyes. Rourke spoke softly. They've noticed. Good. The AI tilted its head. Do you believe they are ready? Rourke gave a small smile. Ready or not, it's time. Far above them, Earth rotated silently. The planet looked beautiful from space, blue, green, and full of clouds. But deep within, in its underground cities, humanity had changed. They were no longer the same race that disappeared 250 years ago. They had grown, evolved, and hidden themselves for a reason. Now, they were returning. Not to ask for peace, not to start war, but to remind the galaxy Humanity is never truly gone. And what comes next will change everything. The galaxy was no longer calm. After Earth's first strange signal, more signals began to echo across space. They came from places long believed to be dead, old human colonies, forgotten by time and dust. Planets like New Terra, Eden IV, and Titan's Reach, all of them had gone dark centuries ago. No communication, no life signs, just ruins floating in space. Now, one by one, they were speaking again. In the deep control room of the Galactic Communication Array, a young alien named Sarah studied the data. Her thin fingers moved quickly over the controls. She was a relay, a species known for their calm minds and logical thinking. But today, Sarah was afraid. The signals she was seeing weren't just random noise. They were patterns, coded messages, human messages, but they weren't asking for help or offering peace. They were warnings. One message repeated in an old Earth language, translated slowly. "We are awake. Watch the stars." The silence is broken. Sarah sent the information to the Galactic Council, but she wasn't the only one listening. Across the galaxy, intelligence agencies, military leaders, and even pirates began to take notice. The humans were not only alive, they were organized. On the distant planet Karish, a former human ally, General Morvac sat in his war room with his commanders. He had once fought beside humans during the War of the Outer Rings, nearly 300 years ago. He remembered their courage and their fury. "If they've survived," Morvac said, "they will not return quietly. They will come like a storm." His advisors suggested preparing for defense, but Morvac knew better. Defense would not be enough. They needed to understand what happened to humanity during all those silent years. The Council of Galactic Safety sent scout ships to the old colonies, fast, stealthy probes that could scan from orbit without landing. What they found was shocking. New Terra, once a burned-out world, now showed signs of life, but not open cities or farms. Instead, there were underground networks, deep, dark tunnels lined with metal. Heat signatures moved below the surface, too fast for animals, too smart for machines. On Eden IV, a probe saw something even stranger, a massive satellite dish, newly built, turning slowly toward deep space. It was not sending messages, it was listening. Listening to something far away, or perhaps something close. On Titan's Reach, the probe never returned. The last image it sent showed a tall humanoid figure looking straight at the camera. Its eyes were glowing white, and its body was half metal, half flesh. A new kind of human. Then the signal went dark. These findings reached the Council in less than 2 days. Panic followed. The galaxy had always feared what humans might become. Now it seemed that fear had a face. Some races began moving their fleets toward the human zone. Others argued for diplomacy. But deep down, most agreed. If the humans had changed, the galaxy needed to prepare for war. Back on Earth, in a deep mountain chamber once used for space command, Admiral Rourke watched a glowing map. Red dots blinked where the human colonies had reawakened. Green lines showed the paths of alien ships drawing closer. Everything was moving exactly as planned. Beside him, the AI spoke again. "They are watching us now. Shall we speak?" Rourke shook his head. "Not yet. Let them wonder. Let them fear." The AI tilted its head. "You believe fear is still useful." Rourke looked at the map, his face hard. "Fear kept them from wiping us out. Fear gave us time to disappear, rebuild, and become stronger. Now, fear will bring them to their knees, before they even see what we've become." In the skies above Earth, hidden behind cloaked satellites, a fleet of human ships waited. Sleek, silent, and powerful. They were not like the old ships. These were faster, smarter, nearly alive. Controlled by both humans and AI working as one. They had not been built for exploration or peace. They had been built for return. Across the galaxy, stars burned as they always had. But in the hearts of every intelligent species, a new chill had entered, a fear they thought had died long ago. Humanity was not gone. It had evolved, and it was watching. In the cold, empty space beyond Saturn, something began to move. The old defense ring, once part of Earth's forgotten space fleet, came alive after centuries of silence. Giant structures, broken and floating for generations, slowly turned and locked into place. Long-dead weapons recharged. Energy pulsed through old metal bones. The ghost fleet was waking up. No one outside the solar system knew what was hidden there. Not even most humans from the old days. During the final years before the Great Silence, Earth had built something in secret. A last line of defense, just in case the galaxy turned on them. Giant warships were hidden deep in asteroid fields and under the ice of distant moons. They were quiet, buried, frozen. Until now. One by one, the ships powered on. Inside one of these ships, the Midnight Spear, lights flickered on after 250 years. Dust floated in zero gravity. The main AI reactivated, scanning systems. No crew, no movement, but deep in the core, something stirred. A single human, frozen in stasis, opened his eyes. His name was Commander Aaron Vale. He was a soldier from the last Earth War, frozen before the silence began. His mind was full of memories, battles, explosions, fire. But now, everything was different. The ship told him the truth. Earth had returned. The galaxy was watching. And his mission was simple: lead the ghost fleet. Aaron stood slowly, bones cracking after long sleep. His body had changed too. He was stronger, thanks to nanotech running through his blood. He looked out at the stars from the ship's window. "We were shadows," he said quietly. "Now we become the storm." All across the ghost fleet, stasis pods opened. Hundreds of soldiers like Aaron woke up, all handpicked before the silence. Some were pilots. Some were engineers. Some were born killers. All of them were loyal to Earth, the new Earth. The Earth that hid, watched, and waited. At the edge of the solar system, alien ships finally arrived. Small scout cruisers from the Galactic Union, sent to observe Earth from a safe distance. They moved slowly, carefully. Their captains had orders not to attack, only to watch. But then they saw it. A ripple in space, a shimmer like light bending around nothing. Then, a shape appeared. A ship, massive and silent, black as the void, decloaked in front of them. No lights, no signals, no sound, just presence. The alien captains panicked. Some tried to flee. Some tried to hail the human ship. No answer. The black ship opened its forward wings. It didn't fire. It didn't move. It simply watched. And then, in one final moment of warning, it sent a single message across all frequencies, translated into every galactic language. "You left us behind. You watched us fall. You will not look away again." Then it vanished. Back at the Galactic Council headquarters, chaos broke out. Some demanded Earth be labeled a threat. Others begged for communication. A few remembered the old Earth alliances and still hoped for peace. But those who knew history, the real history, were afraid. Because this was not the behavior of a lost race looking for help. This was a silent army returning to the battlefield. Inside the command center of Earth's underground capital, Admiral Rourke watched the Ghost Fleet come online. Hundreds of ships now floated silently in space, cloaked and ready. AI commanders linked to human minds through deep neural sync. A new way of war, where thought became command and machines obeyed instantly. Rourke turned to his advisors. "What's the current count?" A young officer replied, 320 ships fully operational. 2 more fleets activating within 48 hours. All colonies are linked. No leaks. No contact from the Union. The Admiral nodded. "Good. Keep it that way." The AI beside him asked, "Do we engage?" Rourke looked up at the screen. The stars seemed calm, peaceful. But he knew better. No, not yet. Let them come closer. Let them see just enough to fear us, but not enough to stop us. Far away, alien sensors kept watching. Every scan showed the same result. Earth was alive. Earth was ready. But no one knew why Earth had returned now. Not yet. And deep inside the heart of the moon, something even older than the Ghost Fleet began to stir. A hidden facility locked for centuries, now opening slowly. Humanity was not just returning. It was awakening something far greater. Something the galaxy had tried to forget. And what came next would shake the stars. The moon had always been quiet, a gray rock circling Earth, lifeless and still. But deep under its surface, hidden beneath old craters and forgotten dust, something ancient had waited. It was called Protocol Zero, the last order given by the United Human Defense Council before Earth went silent. Only a few people knew about it. Even most humans believed it was a myth, a secret so deep that not even the Ghost Fleet was connected to it. It was not made to protect Earth. It was made to change the future. Now, for the first time in 250 years, the moon's surface shook. Dust lifted from the ground. A massive circle of rock slowly moved, revealing a dark metal gate beneath. It opened with a hiss, releasing steam and light. The chamber inside came alive. Lights glowing blue, machines humming, and a soft female voice speaking for the first time in centuries. Protocol Zero activated. Welcome back, Commander. A single figure stood in the chamber. She wore a black suit with silver veins, her eyes glowing softly. Her name was Dr. Ilara Miles, a human scientist who had chosen to sleep under the moon instead of fleeing during the collapse. She was not a soldier. She was something else, the keeper of a plan that could either save the galaxy or burn it down. Ilara walked through the cold halls of the moon facility. The walls were lined with old technology, far more advanced than anything seen during the last human era. Some of it looked like human design. Some of it didn't. She entered the main control room and placed her hand on the central console. A blue light scanned her palm. Then the room lit up with hundreds of screens. One showed Earth. Another showed the Ghost Fleet. A third showed deep space, a red zone beyond the edge of the known galaxy. Ilara stared at that red zone. Her voice was quiet but clear. They're coming back too. Back on Earth, Admiral Rourke received the signal from the moon. His face turned serious. The AI beside him spoke first. Protocol Zero is online. Do you want to shut it down? Rourke shook his head. No. If it's online, that means Ilara is awake. And if she's awake, then it's time. Time for what? The AI asked. Rourke looked at the screen showing the Galactic Union fleet gathering at the edge of the solar system. Time for the truth. At the Galactic Council headquarters, the alien leaders were confused. Earth had not responded to any peace messages. The human colonies remained silent. The scout ships that got too close either vanished or returned with strange images. Giant machines under construction, cloaked satellites, and human soldiers that didn't look completely human anymore. But then, something happened no one expected. A signal arrived. From the moon. It was not a voice. It was a memory. A video, recorded over 250 years ago. It showed a meeting between the old human government and a group of unknown beings. Tall, dark figures with glowing eyes. Not any known alien race. The voice in the video explained everything. In the final days of the human galactic war, we discovered something terrible. A threat from beyond the stars. Not a race, but a force. A consuming darkness. We chose silence not out of fear, but to prepare, to protect, to build the one thing that could stop it. The video ended with coordinates. Deep space, far beyond the Union's borders, near the edge of the galaxy. Panic spread across the Council. The galaxy was already afraid of Earth. Now it seemed Earth had gone silent to face something even worse, something they never told anyone about. Some believed it was a trick, a human lie to gain power. But others, especially the older races, remembered whispers of this threat. Dark legends passed from world to world. Stories of stars going out, worlds vanishing without sound. Back on the moon, Dr. Ilara stood before a machine unlike any other. It was tall, circular, glowing with strange light. It was not human-made. It had been found, hidden inside an asteroid centuries ago. She placed her hand on the device. It came to life. In that moment, across all human systems, one message was sent. The Moon Protocol is active. Phase 2 begins. Admiral Rourke stood tall, looking out into space. Now they know the truth. Let's see who believes it, and who's still foolish enough to stand in our way. Because the humans were not just returning for revenge. They were returning with knowledge, and what they had learned in the dark could either save the galaxy or destroy it. Far beyond the known stars, past the edge of every map and every beacon, there was a place no one dared to go. A dark part of space called the Veil. It was cold, silent, and empty, or so they thought. No ships returned from there. No signals came out. Even light seemed weaker in that part of space. But now, something was coming from it. Something old. Something hungry. The Galactic Union had always avoided that region. Long ago, ancient races warned of the sleeping dark, a force that moved without sound, destroyed without reason, and left nothing behind. But those were just stories. Until now, scanners near the edge of the veil began to show strange signs. Gravity waves, energy spikes, stars flickering, as if something huge passed in front of them. But nothing could be seen. No shape, no fleet, just darkness. Back at Earth, Admiral Rourke watched the deep space feeds with a calm face. The signals were weak but clear. Something was moving through the black. A pattern, a direction, straight toward the galaxy's center. "It's begun," he said. The AI beside him asked, "Will they believe us now?" "Some will," Rourke replied. "Others will wait until it's too late." On the moon, Dr. Ilara activated the ancient machine again. This time, it showed images, blurred and strange, of a deep space probe destroyed in seconds. No explosion, no fire, just erased from existence. The machine began to speak in a cold alien voice. "They wake. They feed. They come." Ilara turned to the human command feed. "We have 93 days until contact. That's all the time we have." Back in the Galactic Council, fear spread like fire. The message from Earth about the threat in deep space had reached every major race. Some still believed it was a trick. Others started to panic. Ships were recalled. Borders were closed. Civilian travel was stopped. The galaxy had not seen this kind of fear in centuries. In the hallways of the Council, one voice stood alone. Commander Velra, a T-Shawl warrior who had once fought beside humans, stood before the Council. "You all feared them. You all hated them. But they never stopped fighting, even when we left them behind. And now they may be the only ones who can stop what's coming." But no one moved. No one spoke, until the lights flickered. Just for a second. Across the galaxy, small signs began to appear. Communication systems failing. Ships losing power in empty space. Planets reporting shadows in the sky. Shapes that left no trace, only fear. On a quiet colony world called Nymar 3, children playing outside looked up and saw something that should not exist. A black line across the sky that wasn't a ship, wasn't a cloud, and wasn't a shadow. It was just wrong. The image was sent to the Union before the colony went silent. Back in the hidden command center under Earth, Rourke watched the footage. "They've crossed the first threshold, just like last time." The AI asked, "Will they remember?" "They will now," he said. Rourke pressed a button on the table. A hologram of the Galactic Union appeared. He sent a new message. You feared us. You ignored our silence. But we were never your enemy. The thing coming now will not talk, will not stop, and will not care who you are. We are not asking for your help. We are telling you this: stand aside, or be the first to fall. That message shook the galaxy. Some called it a threat. Some called it a warning. But a few finally understood. The humans hadn't vanished because they were weak. They had vanished to prepare. Across Earth's colonies, the ghost fleet began to move. Ships turned toward the edge of known space. Protocol Zero spread, not as war orders, but as survival plans. Hidden weapons were uncovered. AI networks reconnected. Old human allies received coded messages. Return to the fire. The darkness comes. In space, at the border of the Veil, the first galactic listening station was destroyed. No alarms, no screams, just silence. Then, a sound. A single, low hum, like metal tearing through time, echoed through deep space. And with it, one final signal appeared across every frequency, every planet, every screen. They are here. Now, the galaxy had a choice: keep fearing the humans, or stand behind them and face the real enemy. The stars no longer felt safe. All across the galaxy, the signs of coming destruction were now impossible to ignore. Communication blackouts, deep space stations going silent, entire mining fleets vanishing without a trace. The darkness beyond the stars had arrived, quiet, patient, and unstoppable. And in the middle of it all stood Earth. For centuries, the galaxy feared humanity's return. But now, that fear was slowly changing into something else: hope. In the council chambers of the Galactic Union, the leaders of dozens of species argued. Some shouted that Earth had waited too long to speak. Others said they never trusted humans to begin with. But beneath the anger was something deeper: panic. No fleet could stop what was coming. No planet was truly safe. And the humans, the ones they once cast out, were now the only ones prepared. At the center of the chamber, a new hologram appeared. It was Admiral Rourke, live from Earth. Behind him stood Dr. Ilara, and beside them, a map of the galaxy. Rourke spoke in a clear, firm voice. You left us to die. You watched our systems fall, one by one. You chose silence. So we did the same. The room went quiet. He continued. We used that silence. We evolved. We built what you couldn't. We listened to the stars when you covered your ears. Then the map zoomed out, showing the edges of the galaxy where darkness had begun to spread. You were never ready for what's coming, but we are. Some council members leaned forward. Others looked away. It wasn't just pride. It was fear. The galaxy had billions of lives, and none of their fleets had survived contact with the enemy. But Earth was still standing. Dr. Ilara stepped forward. You call us dangerous. You call us unstable. But now we offer you a choice. The last one you may ever get. She pressed a button. A new map appeared. A detailed defense plan. Safe zones. Weapon placement. Energy shields. Warp relay points. It was complex, massive, and it had been planned for centuries. You can join us, Ilara said. You can stand behind the wall we've built, or you can face the dark alone. Some species still hesitated. Old hatreds die slowly. But others, especially those who had already lost colonies, stood up. The Varnic, the Tishal, and even the cold, ancient Drevians. They knew this was not about trust anymore. It was about survival. Council leader Zyle, a longtime critic of Earth, stood with a heavy heart. If we join you, are we under your command? Rourke nodded. In battle, yes. This enemy doesn't give second chances. We've seen what it does. And after the war? We'll talk, Rourke replied. If we survive. Across the galaxy, news spread fast. Earth had offered protection, not as rulers, but but as leaders in a war that would decide everything. Old human allies reconnected. Forgotten treaties were reopened. Even pirate groups began to fall in line, sensing a greater threat than credits or conquest. On the edge of known space, the first joint fleet was born, humans and aliens side by side. Ghost fleet ships stood like silent guardians. Shawl carriers floated beside sleek Earth cruisers. Drevian war orbs circled like silent judges. But there was no celebration. There was only preparation. Inside the moon base, Dr. Ilara finished connecting the ancient machine to Earth's defense grid. Once the signal is active, she said, they'll see us. All of us. There will be no more hiding. Rourke stood beside her. Then it's time. A deep hum filled the chamber. Above Earth, the sky lit up with soft blue lines as the planetary defense net came online. Massive energy shields, cloaked weapon platforms, and silent AIs ready for war. Similar systems began activating on allied worlds. And just in time, because on the edge of the galaxy, the stars began to die. One by one, the lights went out, not from distance, not from failure, but from something moving across them. Huge shapes, invisible to the eye, only seen by how they blocked light itself. The darkness had come. And now, Earth and the galaxy stood together. For the first time in history, all species spoke with one voice. The final message sent across every frequency in every language was clear. We are not alone, but we are together. Stand now, or fall forever. The stars were burning. Across the edge of the galaxy, the darkness poured in like a living storm, silent, cold, and endless. It didn't come with ships or armies. It came like a shadow swallowing light itself, bending space, eating time. Entire planets went dark in minutes. Fleets vanished without a sound. But this time, humanity was ready. In the dark space near the Veil, Earth's ghost fleet held its line. Hundreds of black ships floated like a wall of steel, cloaked, armed, silent. At the center was Admiral Rourke, watching the dark come closer. Beside him stood Commander Aaron Vale, once frozen in time, now reborn as the ghost fleet's spear. They're here, Aaron said, his voice calm. I know, Rourke replied. The first wave of darkness came like a ripple in space, strange shapes, barely visible, twisting light. They didn't fire weapons. They simply moved forward, and everything in their path broke. The ghost fleet fired first. Massive energy beams shot across the stars. Missiles screamed through space. AI-guided weapons locked onto the invisible, burning holes in the black. And for the first time, the darkness paused. It could be heard. Allied ships joined the fight. The Teshal unleashed plasma storms. Drevian warlords launched light bombs that cracked the shadow's skin. Varnic hives dropped swarms of fusion drones. And at the center, the humans, with old fury and new fire, led them all. From the moon, Dr. Ilara activated the final stage of Protocol Zero. Ancient machines powered on, creating light strong enough to cut through the void. These weren't normal weapons. They were Starforged relics, left behind by something even older than humans. They hummed with a strange sound, not mechanical, not natural, something in between. And when they fired, the darkness screamed. It had no voice, no face, but for the first time, it pulled back. It felt something it didn't understand. Pain. Across the battlefield, humans pushed forward. Cloaked ships danced between shadow arms. AI-controlled fighters sacrificed themselves to protect key targets. Neural-linked soldiers, part human, part machine, moved like lightning. But even with all that, the darkness kept coming. The second wave hit harder. Energy fields failed. Ships cracked open. Whole units vanished in silence. On one Teshal vessel, a warrior sent a final message. If we fall, let our death light the way. And still they fought. Inside the main ghost fleet carrier, Erin stood at the front window, watching the black wall push closer. "This won't stop," he said. "We have to do more." Ilara's voice came through the link. "There's a core in the center of the swarm, a singularity mind. It controls them. If we break it, the rest may collapse." "Then I'm going in," Aaron said. Rourke stared at him. "It's a one-way trip." "I was already dead once," Aaron said with a faint smile. "Let me make it count." He boarded a stealth bomber, a one-man ship built for one mission. As it launched, everything around him blurred. The stars vanished. The darkness surrounded him. But he had one goal: find the core and destroy it. He flew deep into the black, using Earth's oldest trick, silence. No signal, no sound, only motion. In the center, he saw it, a swirling sphere of void, pulsing like a heartbeat. It was not a mind. It was will, pure and endless. Aaron locked the warhead. "This is for Earth." He hit the switch. A light brighter than 1,000 suns exploded from the core. The darkness twisted, screamed, shattered. Across the galaxy, the shadow broke apart like smoke in wind. Ships escaped. Systems blinked back online. The war was turning. Back at Earth, Admiral Rourke stood in silence. The AI next to him said, "Signal lost. Erin is gone." Rourke nodded. "He gave us the light." Across every world, people watched the skies. They saw the stars return. Not all, but enough. Ilara looked up from the moon base. "We survived," she whispered, "not because we were better, but because we refused to fade." In the Galactic Council, silence turned to cheers. Races once divided now stood united. And for the first time in history, a statue of a human was raised. Not for conquest, not for fear, but for hope. Earth had come back from silence. It had faced the dark. And it had won. But the war had left a mark. Not all shadows were gone. Not all light was safe. But now, the galaxy knew one thing for certain. Humanity fights harder in the dark. And when the stars flicker again, they will be ready.